Hey guys, it's me, Deminata What If, with part 15 to What If Ichigo Kurosaki was sent back in time. Uh, so, sorry I missed that one day. I was noticing there's not many views coming into this series, so I think I'm gonna stop doing it for a while, or put kind of a pause on it. But yeah, I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. Anyway, so I'm gonna give like a refresh, try and refresh your minds on what happened in part 14. And 13, because part 14 was kind of like a very short video. So part 13, that was kind of like an integration of the Vizareds, or Vizards. I don't actually know what people call them. But yeah, that was kind of me integrating them into this series. And yeah, at the end of that part, Orihime had run off, leading into part 14, where she is taken and captured by Aizen, who turns her into a hollow, although a high state hollow, but a hollow nonetheless. And yeah, so yeah, she tries to kill Ichigo, he stops her, and da. Anyway, I'm gonna jump straight into part 15. Ichigo grips Orihime tightly, starting to tear up while gritting his teeth. He is currently has Orihime resting her head on his shoulder, and had just been asked by her to kill her. Orihime is telling him how she's scared. I know, he replies. I am too. As they sit there on the floor, tightly hugging one another, memories of the time they've spent together flash through both their minds. For Orihime, this is from during and after middle school when they first met, to this period now, how they've been together for so long as well, years now. While on the other hand, Ichigo is thinking of those memories, but also of the time from his own timeline. Say that 5 times faster. So, for example, when he originally started this journey to when eventually everything was ended by Iwatch. Oh, what did I realize? I'm sorry, Nichan. I will see you in the afterlife. With their condolences done, Ichigo, at this moment, feeling like it could last forever, Ichigo begins forming a Sero beam in his hand, which pierces through Orihime, killing her almost instantly. She flinches when it comes to her, but then smiles as she lays into Ichigo. She slowly begins disintegrating, as all that is left of her are her hairpins. Behind them, as this was happening, was Karen, Ichigo's younger sister with black hair, who is now beginning to tear up as well. She's now imagining how her older brother must feel, how he had first been abandoned almost by his family, after what she can now see is that he was clearly trying to protect them, and now he's lost such a close person to him. She slightly lets go of herself and her distance from him as she runs to him. He hears his footsteps and is immediately on guard, but then he feels these small arms, and he looks to his side and sees the black hair, and he knows it's Karen, and he quickly stops crying, well, still confused, and while holding the hair clips of Orihime and Karen, they just sit there for a while, Karen bawling her eyes into him. While this is the only thought going through his mind is that Now he cannot hesitate again. Hours pass. Eventually Karen falls asleep on Ichigo's shoulder, and he picks her up, taking her back to Orihara's candy shop. When she eventually wakes up, she sees that her big brother is on her bed and just kind of sitting there waiting for her to wake up. And she's so happy that was real. She's sad, of course, that Orihime is dead, but she's so happy that she has managed to be with her big brother. Ichigo, before she can say anything, says, "Good morning, Karen. I need to explain something to you. You saw what happened with Orihime." He then begins telling her about the world of souls, about the Serete and its soul reapers, and the systems that are in place there, such as Kido, Shunpo, and not just fighting stars, but also how they have a school for Shinigami, how that is where most souls go after they are peacefully passing on and such, as well as the Central 46, the Squad Zero, and he then moves on to Hikamondo, onto the Hollows and how they are corrupt souls. While not bad necessarily, they require the consumption of other souls to survive. Then he talks about another group of people, the Quincy's, who are currently, who the leader of which is currently living within the Serete, just in an unreachable location, and is awakening. He then eventually reaching the end, he speaks of a man named Aizen. Brown, pulled back hair, white robes, and a sword which causes illusions. And he tells her that that man is responsible for Orihime's death. She looks for an explanation, and he says, well, he took Orihime and experimented on her, turning her into not only just a soul, but also turning her into one of those hollows I mentioned to you before, turning her into a high-ranking one that needs a lot of souls to survive. She is stunned by all of the information that's just going through her head now, and he then, as she calms down a little, he eventually tells her, or rather asks her, if she would like to train with him, where he can teach her how to use these powers and how to use the two bloodlines that are within her. She is confused by the mentioned bloodlines, but she agrees almost immediately. A month passes by with Ichigo teaching Karen about souls and about Kido, about how she has lineage in Shinigami and Quincy's. He begins teaching her how to harness Quincy powers, as well as slowly tapping into her Shinigami side while in soul form. On the other hand, he talks with Chad and Oryu about Orihime's passing, and tells them that he's going to train them a lot harder now, because he has a goal in mind now that he must complete. Oryu looks at this with a knowing look, while Chad, also similarly with a knowing look, looks towards Ichigo, knowing how his friend behaves, while Oryu understands where he's coming from. Ichigo no longer goes to school. Oryu and Chad similarly start taking more and more days off of school. While Ichigo doesn't want them to do this, they still do it. But yeah, so the reasoning that is given, that most people believe this to, is due to grief of losing Orihime, which it in part is. I should mention that Orihime's body was dropped in town when she was originally taken, so people think that she just got stabbed there or something along those lines. Maybe she had a heart attack of some sort. But yeah, again, a month had passed like this, with him training Oryu and Chad, Oryu in the Quincy ways, Oryu and Karen in the Quincy ways, while Karen also had her training as a Shinigami at times, and then Chad was just being trained on melee combat and the like with Ichigo and controlling Ryatsu. At the end of this month, Ichigo goes to the makes a Gargantua gate, and with Uryu, Chad, and even Karen, and he is ready to break Aizen. Your watch is next. So yeah, that's this for this part. Again, this feels really short to me, but hopefully it's shorter than longer than part 14. But yeah. So again, I hope you like what I did with this. Do like and comment on suggestions, just to give me suggestions and to tell me how you're liking it. So as I mentioned at the start of the video, I am going to kind of pause updating this, at least minimally, for the time being, just because it's really difficult to come up with ideas for this, especially since I have 2 projects that are due for this week and 2 weeks time, as well as another project which is like part of my entire grade. I also have tons of homework that I get for one of my subjects, like 2 every day or something. So I just don't have the time to be posting this. I will, of course, be posting another Genshin one, just because, you know, I need to also mention that on there, because I did miss a day. But yeah, that Genshin will be coming out in like 2 minutes. Sorry, not 2 minutes. It'll be coming out in a bit. I'm about to go have dinner. So yeah. Anyway, have a lovely day. If you have school for next week, then have a nice school week, you know, work week, whatever. But yeah, see ya.